Well, good morning. It's Crazy Cheap Chick, and I just got back from the grocery store. Now, I like to divide it up into two trips. The reason I do that, there's actually two reasons I do it. Number one, I find it easier to keep track of prices if I'm buying it over two trips rather than trying to do one big load of groceries. And number two, it just increases your chances of finding bargains because there's always clearance and markdowns. And I'm going to show you a little bit of footage here in a minute of how I shop at my grocery store. Now, if you watch my channel, you know I go really early in the morning, so I try to be there when they open. And last week, it was like 30 below, and I was at the grocery store about 2 minutes to 7 because they open at 7, and I'm running up to the door, and there's an employee running up to the door, and she has to get out her key and actually open the door, and she goes in and shuts the door behind her, and she's just standing on the other side staring at me, and I'm like, oh, I didn't realize it was before 7 because it was about 2 minutes till 7, and she just stood there. Until that 2 minutes ran out. It made me stand out in the 30 below temperature. So I try to get there exactly at 7 now because I don't want to stand outside in the cold. But anyway, that was just kind of funny. So when I go, I check every clearance rack. And my husband and I kind of have gone round and round about this. I don't think he has a really strong opinion, as neither do I, but do you grab bargains when you find them, or do you stick to a strict budget? I try to keep my groceries at around $150 a week, and that's for two people, but we rarely eat out. And I looked up just to see what the government says, because government makes all kinds of reports. I used to work for the government, and they're really, really good at putting out reports, and anyone can read them. It's really kind of fascinating, the things that you can find online. And according to the USDA, for two people, and they break it down by age and sex, very detailed. So for two people, the USDA says that we should, on the thrifty plan, we should be spending $112.60 a week. And moderate is $150, $190, so I guess I'm in the moderate range. And liberal is $182.30 a week. I think that's kind of low. What do you think? I'm not sure the government has kept up with inflation, because you see what I buy. Everything I'm buying is marked down and clearance, and I do stock up a little bit on sale items, but I'm not going crazy. I'm not stockpiling a bunch of stuff here. So what do you think? I'm curious what other people's opinions are. Is it more important to buy bargains when you find them, or is it more important to stick strictly to your budget and keep to it? Now, thankfully, we're old enough and secure enough that we can, I can go off budget $15-20 and it doesn't really matter. But when I was younger, when I was raising my family, I would have had to stick to the $150. I could not have gone over. So when I show you the groceries I found today, I'm also going to tell you what I would have left behind if I was still that young mom trying to stick to a budget. Tell me what you would have kept and what you would have left behind in order to stay on budget. So hold on, I'm going to show you what I found and how I plan on using that food. So just a second. Ooh, that looks good. It's only 99 cents at Aldi's. Very healthy. Got a lot of meat marked down. I really like these. I got a couple of those. Okay, so they have this chicken tikka masala. But always make sure that the number here matches the barcode on the product. Sometimes things get put in the wrong spot. Same with this one. 52.33, somewhere in there. Well, I can't control myself. I think we're going to have to get this plant for $3. So I just got back from the grocery store, and without tax, I spent $54.32. And I live in a state that still charges tax on food. It's really frustrating, though they are supposedly phasing that out. Well, I'm going to show you what I got. I went to the grocery store on Monday and I spent $115. And I normally try to keep my groceries to about $150. But I've gone over this week by about $20. And I'm fortunate in that I don't have to stay to an exact budget. But there's been times in my life I would have had to stick to $150 no matter what. But I'm going to show you what I got. They used to mark this produce down to a quarter, and I miss those days. They stopped doing that probably a month and a half ago. But the best, if used by date, is December 30th. Today is December 29th, and so they've marked it down to $1.35, which is still not a bad deal for fresh snap peas, because I think these are normally like $4.35 for one package. So I went ahead and got 2 of these. They also have some cauliflower, and it's best if used by date is tomorrow also. They had it marked down to 75 cents. I would have missed these deals, except one of my grocery store friends, one of the people that I always take the time to talk to, pointed them out to me. I was leaving, and she goes, hey, I just marked down some stuff. And so I went ahead and got this. The only thing I had to buy today was some Tums. So I think these were like $3.19. Everything else, these avocados were on sale for 57 cents each. And so I went ahead and got 3 avocados. They had some mushrooms marked down to $1.11. I think I'm going to use those for dinner tonight. They had these buns marked down to $1.26. I got those. I hate bread in the freezer, so I'm going to have to use these right away. They had some salad dressing. This salad dressing was 72 cents. And this Ken's was $1.47. Now, I'm trying to really get away from using commercial salad dressings, but I'm going to an event here in a couple of weeks where I've been asked to bring salad dressing, and so I'm going to bring these. Then I bought these because dark chocolate has dates in it, and this stuff's really expensive. I don't know. Sometimes it'll say on there what the original price was. I don't remember what it was, but that's probably half. It's probably around $4.50. But this is dark chocolate hummus with dates. And since my husband has the COVID and he's not feeling good, he doesn't have much of an appetite, I decided to get some of this and maybe put some apples with it to dip and maybe give him a little treat. Now, everything that my store, which is probably all these stores, probably do the exact same thing. If they put it in a red mesh bag, it's $1. So normally I would buy cherry tomatoes for about $1.99. So it's probably about half off. Now, they probably had to do this. There's nothing wrong with them. Maybe the container broke. They had onions for $1. Now, onions aren't that expensive. I weighed these, and they're about a pound and a half per package, and 2 pounds are $1.89. So they, it's slightly less expensive, not a ton. All of these limes for $1. And I think limes are about 2 for $1 right now on sale. 3 tomatoes for $1. Now they're putting them in this bag because they're not ripe. Well, they will ripen. In about a week and a half, these will be perfectly ripe. At the end of the season, of the gardening season, right before the first really hard frost, I picked all of my green tomatoes, and I probably had 100 of them. And we had tomatoes for a couple of months. And then they had 2 peppers for $1, and the green ones are about 80 cents, 79 cents, somewhere in there. And the colored ones are like $1.25, somewhere like that. And this was probably my best deal. I found this in the frozen section. I think this one was like $3.25. And these chicken tikka masala were $2.25. So I got 2 packages of it because I'm going to put this in the freezer. And some night when I don't feel like cooking, or if I get the COVID, we'll have some emergency meals that we can just heat up. Then I had already planned out my menu for the week. Tonight I was going to have cabbage steak, which both my husband and I really like. Doesn't taste anything like steak, but it's good. With some roasted potatoes and some corn. But since my husband's sick and doesn't have much of an appetite, I thought I would try to entice him with some chicken because he loves chicken. Now this chicken was marked down to $2.61. I think it was originally $4.01. And then I got these items. Now, if I was going to stick to my $150 budget strictly, if I had to, if I, was on a really tight budget, these are the things I would have had to give up. I found these apple bourbon tenderloins for $3.99. I think they're normally $7.99. And I don't need these right now. I'm just going to put it in the freezer. It was just a good deal. This little cube steak, don't know what they normally were. It was normally $6.79, marked down to $4.41. I would have had to leave this behind. Definitely probably would have left this behind. These are some multivitamins, were originally $8.99, marked down to $4.49. And I don't take vitamins every day. Here's how I do it. If I haven't eaten well, I'll take a vitamin. But if I've eaten very healthy and gotten all my veggies in, I don't bother with a vitamin. I know I'm getting it from food. And then this was a very frivolous purchase. This was $3, this little calla lily, and I just couldn't pass it up. And I think it was normally $12.99. It was marked down because it's in a Christmas container. But I'll just cover that up. And if I can keep it alive to spring, I could even plant that in the garden. So anyway, this is what I got for my $54. And, this is quite a bit of food. If I was really, really struggling and trying to stay on a very, very tight budget, this is enough food for 2 people for a week. Right here, you've got 3 meals. This would be a meal. In fact, if you included this and these buns, you could have a fried beefsteak sandwich. This is a meal. This is a meal. And then you've got some sides. So really, this $54 could actually have fed us all week. Some of it is just going in the freezer. Most of this is going in the freezer. I just went to the store today to pick up bargains. Not that I necessarily needed anything. And that's how I do it. Well, thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it. And if you got anything at all out of my video, please give me a like and consider subscribing. The fact that you watched all the way to the end makes me think that you're probably pretty good with money yourself, probably a good cook, and I'll bet you're health conscious as well. Well, we're all in this together, so please come along for the ride.